question number one. Put in the chat for how many of you already have an offer of some sort that you're already selling. Just put like yes in the chat. I've got an offer that I'm already selling. Let's see. Yes, yes. 2. Nice, very nice. And put in the chat if you don't have an offer, but you're putting it together right now. You're just working on it. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're a little bit confused of exactly what should a good offer looks like. If you're in that position, let me see that. Putting that together, Owen, good. Muhammad, putting it together, good. So when it comes to offer, I want to kind of go into it, explain why it's so important. Now today, I specifically keep this training nice and small, not too many people. I've invited some of my high-level Dragon 100 members, which is my high-level advisory group. There's 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs joining me as well, so they can also contribute some ideas within the chat. But I want to keep this nice and small because, one, I want to be interactive, so I'm certain that you will have questions. How many of you think you're going to have some questions today, yeah? Right? In terms of how to put it together and what are some things you might be missing, what are some of the things you have to watch out for. So during the whole training, I'm going to unmute for some of you. You can ask me any questions as well as kind of maybe look at what you have, right? This is a topic that I think even seasonal entrepreneurs don't really understand. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm talking about even seven-figure entrepreneurs, 6-figure entrepreneurs. They don't quite understand. They could be selling whatever that they are selling, but they're selling it without understanding what offer is. Do you understand what I'm talking about, right? They're just kind of selling it. So the first thing I want you to write down is this, and that's kind of the theme for the whole day that we're going to be spending time together, and that is, it's never about the thing. It's the thing that sells the thing. Please write this down. It's not the thing. It's the thing that sells the thing. And by the time we're done today, I think you'll recognize why that is so profound. When I learned this concept, when I truly understood this concept, what it means is not the thing. It's not the product or service. Is the thing that sells the thing. Is how do we position, package what we do in such a way that compels people to buy. And that has to do with offer. How many of you follow what I'm saying? Put up your hand, right? That's why it's so critical. And it's so confusing at the same time. Like, are you talking about like pricing? Are you talking about including bonuses? Are you talking about like, maybe offering some sort of urgency? Like, what does that look like? So today I'm going to walk you through step by step, like bit by bit. I've never done this before, right? In terms of reviewing everything that I've learned in the last 20 years of what does it take to put together a high-ticket offer. So if you're ready, put in just say, I'm ready. Let me hear that. Excellent. So high-ticket offer secrets. Now, question number one, why two business owners, think about two business owners starting at the same time in the same industry, selling to the same group of prospects? Two people, A and B. And yet after a number of years, one will be making a solid seven-figure, multiple seven figures, and the other one will be struggling and almost out of business and possibly lose everything. Just like most statistics, some say 80, some say 90% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. How many have heard of that statistics, right? Why do they fail? Now, there are many reasons why they fail. It could be they are not educated, meaning they have not invested in themselves. They don't understand business, right? Or they run out of cash. Or it could be they don't understand the market, right? It could be they're not equipped with the necessary business skills. There are many, many reasons why an entrepreneur would fail, right? But I believe one of the biggest reasons they fail is because they don't understand what you're about to learn. They go into the marketplace, they have an idea. One of the sayings that I have is all my problems in life started with an idea, right? All the problems I have in life started with an idea. How many have done that before, right? You have an idea of, I think I should do that. I think I should start that. I think I should invest in that, right? And before you know it, you lose a whole bunch of money and waste a whole bunch of time. Put a hand if you've ever been there before, right? It started with a good idea. We thought at the time it's a good idea, right? And they started with an idea and they don't understand that what they should start off with is an offer. An idea is not any good. An offer is very, very good. They should think of what is it that my marketplace really wants and are willing and able to pay that I could offer to them in exchange of money. That's an offer versus, oh, I've got an idea, I should do that. Or I saw that so-and-so makes money doing that, I should jump into that. No, please write this down. Just because someone else is making money doing that, it doesn't mean you should do it. Are you with me, right? Because if someone is making money doing certain things, it just simply means that they understand the marketplace, they're solving a problem for their market, but it doesn't mean you should get into it. There are many other factors that come into play why someone is successful doing that particular thing or in that particular business. Yes, right? So what determines your business success, here's what it's not about. Before I talk about what it is about, here's what it's not about. Number one, it's not about your slogan. I've seen so many entrepreneurs, business owners, where they spend so much time crafting that perfect slogan. It's not about your slogan. And it's not about your logo. Now, it would be nice to have a nice logo, but that's not what it is. And it's not about your business card. And it's not about your title. Because sometimes you see this on social media, on Instagram, right? CEO. Like, it's so funny. CEO, right? It's a one-person operation. Like CEO of a one-person operation. Like anybody. Like you go register your company. Oh, forget it. Self-employed. Just for self-proprietorship. Like I'm a CEO of my company. You could do that, but it doesn't mean anything. It's not title, right? It's not your business plan. It's not your formal education because I didn't graduate from university, so it's not your formal education. And it's not your look. And it's not your website either. And it's not your video. And it's not your followers. What determines, now, these things, they could be part of it. Doesn't hurt to have a business plan. Doesn't hurt to have followers. Doesn't hurt to have a nice website. Yes, right? It's nice, right? But that's not what determines your success. Because for some, you've got a nice website, right? You've got good looks. Maybe you have good education. You have a business plan. Right? You have your business card. But that doesn't mean that's what determines your business success. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Right? Put in the chat. Yeah, that's not what determines the success. So what determines the success? So I want you to think about, it's not about having the best product. Because if it is about having the best product, McDonald's will not exist. We will not have McDonald's. Because how many of you could think of a better restaurant that could make better product, better hamburgers than McDonald's? Put a hand, right? Healthier, fresher, tastes better, more juicy, right? Better meat. So clearly, it's not having the best product. There are many, many very, very, very successful companies out there. They don't have the best product. In fact, how many have bought some companies like that, right? They don't have the best product. It's okay. It's not the best product, right? So that's not what it is. What else? It's not about working harder. It's definitely not about working harder. If you are working hard and you're pushing, you're promoting, you're hustling in the marketplace, but if you don't have a strong offer, it's like this. It's like imagine you have a bucket and you are working hard. You're putting water into that bucket, but you've got leaky buckets. You're getting a fraction of results you're supposed to get because people don't understand your offer. They don't understand what makes you unique, what makes your offer unique. What's the proposition? They're unclear about the value. Write this down. In order for an offer to be good, the value has to be clear. In other words, right, why am I buying this? Right? What makes this different? Which I'll go into, right? It's not about working harder. How many of you could relate, right? It's not about working harder, especially more now than ever with ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, with machine learning. A lot of what we do could be done through technology. We cannot work harder than technology because it's running 24/7. We have a limited amount of in terms of energy and bandwidth. So definitely it's not about working harder. And more so, it's about working on, write this down, the right thing. The right thing. Oh, but then what is the right thing? It's the thing that sells the thing. That's working on the right thing. Because the machine, at least currently, right, even ChatGPT can't tell you that. They can do a lot of things for you. They can do the writing for you. They can do the scripting for you. They can do a lot of things for you. But what they cannot do currently is the thinking behind of what people want and how do I package what I do, how do I create a product, how to create an offer that people want to buy. They cannot do that yet. Could they write some copy for you? Yeah, but you still have to be the one. You cannot go to ChatGPT and say, hey, come up with the perfect offer for my niche. They can't do that yet. That has to come from us, which is what we're going to talk about today. Yeah. And it's also not about how much capital that you have. Is it good to have capital? Yeah, it's good to have capital, but you don't need to have capital in order to build a successful business, because I started off with no capital, right? Many of my mentees start off with no capital. It's not about that. If you can create the thing that sells the thing, right? A good offer, you could actually make money with no money. In fact, write this down, I say if you cannot make money without money, you will not be able to make money with money. If you cannot make money without money, you cannot make money with money. Now, what does that mean? It means if you don't have the capabilities, the abilities to actually generate income, to create like sales, if you don't have that ability, giving you more money, it doesn't solve the problem. But if you give money to someone who could make money from scratch, that $1 could easily turn into $2, $3, $4, $5, $10. Wouldn't you agree with that? Right? If you give money, this is why money goes to people who knows how to multiply it. Money doesn't go to people who loses it. You look at the wealthiest people in the world, hedge fund managers, financial institutions, insurance companies. Why money goes to them? Because they know how to grow it. In fact, one of them, Warren Buffett, really knows how to grow it for a long period of time. That's why he's one of the wealthiest person on the planet. Money goes to people who knows how to multiply it. Money doesn't go to broke people. Money doesn't go to people who need it, by the way. It's like, oh, I need to make money. I'm desperate to make money. Well, you look at a homeless person. Do they need money? Yeah. Do money go to them? No. You look at someone who's a hedge fund manager making $1 billion a year. Oh, those, hedge fund, fat cat. How come people giving them billions of dollars? Because they know how to make billions of dollars. They don't need it. Money goes to people who knows how to multiply it. That's how the law of money, that's how money works. Doesn't matter, we fight with it, we argue with it, it doesn't matter. Like you don't need to agree with gravity to know that it exists. Yes, right? You don't need to, right? You step off a building, gravity takes over. You don't need to agree with it, you don't need to like it, it's there. Same thing with law of money. You don't need to like it. Oh, it's not fair, money should go to the people who need it. Or you can argue all you want. Money doesn't go to the people who need it. In fact, in most cases, money goes to the people who don't need it. I remember in my teenage years, when I first got to Canada, just immigrated to Canada, I was trying to get a student visa card, right? How many of you ever tried to remember your first visa card, right? First visa card. I was trying to get a visa card for $500, right? And the bank wouldn't give it to me. So my mom had to be the guarantor in order for me to secure, at the time, a credit card for $500, right? I needed that credit card. I wanted that credit card. Put in the chat, why doesn't the bank give me that credit card for even $500? I needed it. I wanted it. I had no credit. Ricky, what else? I had no credit. What else? No history, right? They don't know if they can trust me with it because you're a little student, $500, don't know if you can actually pay it back, right? What the bank wants is your ability to repay, yes, right? That's why they have the credit score. Yeah, no financials. So I needed it, couldn't get it. Unless my mom said I'll be the guarantor, right? Now fast forward today, now I have my private banker. By the way, now I don't go to them, they come to see me. I don't go to the branch, right? Now they call me, hey, Mr. Locke, how's business? Would you be interested in a line of credit? Would you be interested in some business loans? I said, I don't need the money. Yeah, but maybe you're thinking of doing some acquisition, doing some kind of deal, right? Ever need anything, any kind of investments, please let us know. What the fuck? Right? Where were you? Many years ago. Why? Because I don't need it. So when you've got money in the bank, when you don't need the money, the bank wants to loan you money. This is how the financial world works, and that's how the business world works. Do you understand? Right? It's exactly the same thing. The bank gives you the umbrella when it's sunny. Right? You try to go to the bank when you're like, oh, I can't meet payroll. I'm 2 months away from bankruptcy. Can you loan me some money? Well, we appreciate you as a customer for 10 years, but no. When you don't need money, you talk to them, hey, I'm considering spending. Maybe I'll need a line of credit. Maybe I'll need this loan. Do it early. Since it's not about how much capital you have, then what is it about? It's also not about who you know. It's not about who you know. Yeah, and your network is important, right? I have an extensive network. You should also strive to build a network, yes, right? Network is important, but that alone is not enough, right? Part of what I teach, and I'll go into a little bit today, is not who you know. Just because if you know a lot of people, and for some you're very good networkers, right? You know a lot of people, but unless you have an offer that can activate those relationships and monetize those relationships and turn that relational capital into financial capital, it doesn't mean anything. Did you get that? You need an offer of some sort to convert that relational capital, those relationships that you have, into actual financial capital, into money. It's not who you know. You can know a lot of people. There's a friend of mine, won't name, right? She's like a social butterfly, knows a lot of people in Vancouver, right? Go to this party, meets this person, knows so-and-so, knows so-and-so. She's completely broke. Goes all the functions though. Broke. Knows a lot of people. Every time I talk, oh, I know so-and-so, I met so-and-so, so what? You don't have an offer. You can't get paid without an offer. Write this down. You cannot get paid without an offer. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care if, I have lunch with them, I met with them, so what? Have they spent money with you? Can they refer people to you? How are you going to do business? How are you going to monetize the relationship? Right? Good to have those relationships, but how are you going to monetize it? She doesn't get it. She thought if she meets enough people, it's funny, she thought if she meets enough people, and she already knows a lot of people in Vancouver, she meets enough people, somehow money would appear in some way, shape, or form. Right? It's crazy how this works, right? No. And it's not about your experience. Because most people don't actually have experience. Most business owners, you talk to them, and I talk to them every damn day, right? Most business owners, they've been in business for 10 years or 15 years. They don't have 10 years of experience. They have 1 year of experience 10 times. Write this down. They have 1 year of experience 10 times. Because whatever they are doing right now, they learn at the job, within the business for the first year, and then by that time, they're not learning anymore. They're just repeating the same shit and expecting a different result, which is the definition of what? Insanity. They're not innovating, they're not pivoting, they're not thinking, they're not growing after the first year. They're just kind of, right? Doing the same thing. How many of you know a business owner like that, right? Someone that you know. Yeah. They are not growing. So it's like, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years. Doesn't mean you're doing it good. Doesn't mean you're doing it right. How do you know you're doing it right? Put in the chat. How do you know you're doing it right? In the game of business, when you're making more money year after year, when your business is growing year after year, your profit, your revenue is growing, your net worth is growing, you know it's working. That means you're learning, right? You're growing. If not, then it's just people are stuck in the past. They're like, oh, this is how we do it. So what? Is it working? I don't care that's how you do it. The bank doesn't care that's how you do it. They care about results. So should you. So it's not about your experience. And it's not about the economy. Right? And now with interest rate, when the time we're doing this class, right? With interest rate being very, very high, and the market, and some say we're heading to a recession in US, and which we are. But at the same time, there are a lot of people making a lot of money as well. How many of you know that, right? So I have a T-shirt at home, by the way. Right, a mentee gave that to me many years ago because they took one of my saying and they put it in a shirt, gave me as a gift, and it says, "I refuse to participate in a recession." I refuse to participate in a recession, right? It's just like, nah, don't want to be part of it. Oh, but you know the interest rate and job loss and all. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not going to participate in that, right? No. And funny thing is, like historically, even in my own career, my business, also the nature or the way I structure the business, the way I do it, which I can go into a little bit if you're interested, that you can structure your business in such a way that is more recession-proof, right? That actually does better during a recession. Are there businesses that actually does better during a recession, yes or no? Yeah. So why are we not in those businesses? Why don't we structure in a business such a way? Example, if you are in the, how many of you in the coaching and consulting space? Put in the chat, right? Yeah. If you're in the coaching and consulting space, your business, if you structure it properly and you have the right type of offer, should do better during a recession. Put in the chat, tell me why. Tell me why. Why would your business do better, your coaching and consulting business, do better during a recession? Why is that? Let's see here, people want change during recession. Lots of people need guidance. People want to know how to make money during recession. Yeah, when good times creates complacency. Good times, oh, people think things are good. People have their jobs, economy is good. They borrow money, they spend money. They don't think about change too much. When shit hits the fan, suddenly when disruption, could be technology, could be economic disruption, it could be something like the pandemic. Now people are thinking about, oh, what should I need? I got laid off, or some drastic changes in my business, or my health, or relationship, or whatever it might be. When there's uncertainty, people want answers. Are you with me, right? When there's uncertainty, people want, when there's a lot of certainty, you're like, I'm good. When there's uncertainty, they want answers. And where do they seek answers nowadays? Of course, they go onto the internet. So they're looking for courses, coaching, events, right? They're looking for guidance, they're looking for mentorship, they're looking for expertise to help them solve their problem. So you'll see why the whole coaching, consulting, or the self-education space is booming like that, right? right? At the time that I'm teaching you this, right, it's now, let's say $300 million a day industry. Soon it's going to be a $1 billion a day industry, right? There's a lot of money flowing into that. Especially now also, let me give you a different perspective, in the whole education system, now people saying, hey, maybe I don't need to spend $100,000 going to school for 4 years. Why don't I spend $1,000 on a course and spend 30, 60 days and learn what I need to learn without all the BS? How many of you could relate, right? Yeah, like why don't I learn? Because whatever I learned in 4 years in school is going to be outdated anyway, probably replaced by AI. This is BS. Like why would I get into student debt, learn something that is going to be outdated? You know what I mean? It's like going to school learning how a fax machine works. You know? Like why would I spend that much money learning how a fax machine works? It makes no sense. So people are waking up knowing that, hey, maybe they can have an alternative, right? That could produce their better results. They can get them faster results. So this is why the whole coaching, consulting space, the education space, the alternative education space is booming. It's going to continue to boom for many, 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 many years, right? So it's not about the economy. And the only thing you need to do, this is kind of, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to give you can I give you a quick bonus tip, okay? So when time is good, you market your offer in a certain way. When time is bad, when there's economic downturn, you still sell the same thing. Whatever your core expertise is, you still sell the same thing, but you need to change your messaging on how you sell the offer. So most people, they try to change what they sell. No, you don't need to change what you sell. Keep it the same, but then change the way that you are marketing it. That's what you want. So in good times, you want your message to be more positive, right? Moving towards, in neuro-linguistic programming, they call that, right? But in bad times, you want to move away language. So you go more negative. Because people are a little bit more pessimistic during those times. So you sell the same thing, but your messaging, your communication, your ads, your landing pages, those you need to change and adopt. Are you with me? Right? So that you're using bad news to hook people, to get their attention first. Because you give them good news. So example, it's a very simple example. Let's say you're selling investment, right? Good times you talk about, hey, here's how you get better return. Here's how your portfolio would grow. Here's how you paint a picture, right, of like freedom and all that. Bad times, if you market it that way, people don't believe that offer anymore. So instead, you go into, hey, here's how to protect what you have, right? Here's how to preserve your capital. Here's how to make sure you survive through this period of time. So you don't talk about thriving, you talk about surviving, because they could relate to that, even though you're selling the same type of product and offer. Do you follow what I'm saying? Put up your hand, right? Yeah. So this is something you have to understand with your marketing team, right? When you communicate with them and say, hey, here's an offer that I have, you don't sell the same way. It depends in the marketplace, how are people feeling about this, right? You can't be, when times are bad and because the media is doing such a good job brainwashing people, right, that you can't fight with that. Instead, you tag along and say, yeah, time is shitty. Things are going to get a lot worse. Here's how to protect yourself. Oh, okay, I can do that. You can't be, times is shitty, things are going to get a lot worse, and you say, no, it's going to be fine, don't worry about it. What do you mean, don't worry about it? See, now it doesn't compute. You agree with that, and you say, hey, here's my offer. And when time is good, yeah, time is fantastic. Now it's time to double down. Now to kind of press on that gas pedal. Now it's time to expand. Here's why you should do business with me, right? So you would change your messaging for different times, but not the offer. Because if you got your offer down, you shouldn't have to change it all the time. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me share the first lesson with you. For some, you don't have your offer, you're putting it together. For some, here's one problem. You have too many offers. How many have too many offers? So some, you have too many offers. You're trying to sell too many things, which is not necessary. In this particular case, we're talking about high ticket, right? You always want to remember this, right? And that is, say this with me, even you muted. Simple scales. Simple scales and fancy fails. Simple scales and fancy fails. You do not need to make your line of products or services or offerings too complicated and too many. Isn't it interesting? Think about it. I want you to picture a local restaurant that you go to, maybe in your city, in your town, a typical restaurant. You go in there, let's say a nice restaurant, like a little more high end. You walk in there, they give you a little wine list, they give you a little menu, right? Very nice, and they have a lot of items to choose from. Yes, right? And they might have one little location. So think about that. And I want you to compare that to McDonald's. So I want you to think about the experience, the menu, the offering. Isn't that fascinating? The most successful, profitable restaurant in the world has the simplest menu. You don't walk into McDonald's, meal A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Regular size or large. You want F fries to that? Or that's it. And let me ask you this. From time to time, they might release a couple new items, but in most cases, they've been selling the same shit for decades. You understand that? They've been selling Big Mac for a long time. They've been selling the fries for a long time. They've been selling the Coca-Cola for a long time, right? Like, they have not changed a thing in a long time. They are not thinking. Can you imagine you go to McDonald's? You walk in there. No, we don't do Big Mac anymore. Now we're going to do something completely different. You know? And then, I want my cheeseburger. No, we don't sell cheeseburger. We sell chicken burger now. What the? Right? No, we don't do fries. We do yam fries now. I don't want yam fries. I want my regular disgusting fries. Give me that. No. Right? They understand this concept. Simple scales and fancy fails. Now, a local restaurant, you go in there, they have there's one place that I've gone to. They got 100 items on the menus. I'm like, what the heck is this? And see, that's a business owner that doesn't understand business. Because you have to understand to scale. If I have 100 different dishes, it means I need to have a lot of ingredients and inventory. That lowers my cost, that lowers my margins, right? Increases my cost. Versus McDonald's, they're not thinking about, let me create a very complicated menu, let me offer a lot of diversity. No, we're going to sell the Big Mac, we're going to sell 1 billion of this one thing. How do we do that? It's a different mentality. For some, you just need 1 or 2 offers to make 7-figure. You don't need a lot of offers. If you've got 10, 20 things, because each offer, write this down, it takes resources and time and bandwidth to market. If you've got 10 things, if you are a beginner, even if you're doing a couple $1,000,000, still a beginner, your resources are spread too thin. Versus, hey, I'm going to figure out how to sell this one thing. To scale, it's not about doing more things. So it's very simple. So let's say you're doing $100,000, you want to get to $1 million. What you want is you want to have a very solid core offer that you sell, right? That brings people in. And then you want to have perhaps a high ticket offer That really, that's your back end, that's your margin. You don't need these two. Even within HTC, we grew, right? From that 0 to $10 million with 2 offers. Two, not 20. You don't need a lot. And how do you know your business is working, by the way? How do you know if your business is working is this. To create scale, to grow your company, let's say you're doing $1 million, you want to get to $10 million. You think it's about launching 10 products? No. It's you figure out, I know how to generate revenue and get to $1 million selling this one thing. I know how to sell to, doesn't matter, 100 people. Okay, how do I sell it to 1,000 people? How do I sell to 10,000 people? I want to sell the same thing to a lot of people, not creating different things to different people. You getting this? This is very, very important. I see this mistake all the time. All the time, where, how do you keep it simple? Your focus is not new stuff. No, I want to sell the same stuff for 10 years, 20 years, like McDonald's. That's the good thinking. That's the brilliance of a good entrepreneur. How do I say the same thing without changing a thing? One of the most successful, profitable companies in the world that Warren Buffett invests in is called Coca-Cola. They have not changed a damn thing for that classic Coca-Cola for years. They launch Diet Coke and all that. They launch different things, but really, it's the same thing. Do they acquire different companies to dominate the market? Yeah, that's a diversification strategy. That's a different thing. But really, the core product is the same thing. They sell the same thing to billions and billions and billions and billions of people every year. They sell the same thing to the same person multiple times a year. Now that's a good business model. Not different thing to different people and different times and all different offers. No, same thing to the same person many, many times a year. For years, the same. Now that's a good model. Because that means your whole fulfillment process, your system, all that stays the same. Then all you need to do, look at now what Coca-Cola does, they spend billions of dollars. You can learn a lot from these big companies. What they do is you look at the front end marketing, the thing that sells the thing, the offer, that changes. If for those of you who watch Coca-Cola ads, you notice back then, in the beginning, right, they were selling more like the taste, when they pop over the bottle, like the bubble, shh, right? Remember that? The old ad, right? They kind of that feeling of, right? Now you notice the last, 5-10 years, they've switched the messaging, right? They switched the messaging, Coca-Cola, to happiness, not the taste of the drink, right? You see this Christmas ad, like happy family, friends get together, having, like, instead of drinking alcohol, hey, let's pop over a Coca-Cola, right? It becomes a celebration thing, right? So they switch from a beverage company to a more selling lifestyle. And then a few years ago, they launched a campaign, which I'm certain you've seen it, where the bottle has a name, has like personalized name on it. You've seen that before, right? Different name, right? Yeah. Like, it could be, say, Michelle or John or Sylvia, right? It says, oh, it's my bottle. Let me get one of these, right? Right? Let me ask you a question. Did they change the taste of the Coca-Cola? No. What did they change? They changed the messaging. Just put a label on it. Same stuff. More people would buy it. Kind of like a novelty item. Oh, it's my name. I'm going to find my name today. Then I'm going to find my name in this store. Right? So simple scales. So when you're scaling your company, think about, how do I make my offers simpler, not fancier, not more complicated? Because as I go into it, for some, you may be thinking that, oh, I need to add more stuff to my offer. Like, let me throw in this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And that's how you make a compelling offer. That's not the case. Again, look at the companies. So what I'm teaching you today applies if you're a physical product, applies if you're a service, applies if you're selling coaching and consulting. It's the same principle, right? And a good offer, usually it's one message. Buy my offer, you get this. Here's the value. Now you get additional value, but really this is what it is, like boom, right? Like McDonald's. What's McDonald's value proposition? You buy my food, you get fat. It's a very simple value proposition. You like McDonald's, you get fat. No, I'm joking, right? Of course, right? But it's a very simple value proposition, right? No, the value proposition is consistency. That's the value proposition. You're in Chicago, you're in Asia, you're in Singapore, you're in Canada, you're in Italy, you walk into McDonald's, you order that Big Mac, you order the chicken nuggets, you order that fries, it's going to taste roughly the same. Doesn't matter where you're in the world. You can count on the shitty taste. Whatever, you can count on the taste. It's the same taste, right? You know, it's like, it's not that good, but at least I know it's going to be that. I know what to expect. If I'm in a foreign country, I walk into someplace else, it's going to be something that I'm not used to. It's going to be bad. I'll probably get food poisoning. Fuck it. I'm going to go to McDonald's, man. At least I know what to expect. That's what they're selling, just so you know. Consistency. So the offer is very clear. It's consistency. Good, bad, average, doesn't matter. It's consistent. You can count on it. Which is a very, very difficult thing to do. Because if you go to a local restaurant, forget different location. One location, Monday you order a steak, next month you order a steak, it tastes different. Because the chef has a different mood on that day. So just crack the code of consistency is very, very hard. And they can do it in worldwide with tens of thousands of locations. That is spectacular. Does that make sense? So they're very clear. The executive at McDonald's, I guarantee you, they're not thinking about, how can we make the Big Mac taste better? How can we make the meat more fresh? That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking consistency. They're thinking, how do we sell the same thing? How do we go in where we're not, which market we're not in, right? Which market, which country we could still go into, selling the same thing, right? The golden arches. Where else we can put the location in, because they got that dialed in. Does that make sense, right? So today I'm teaching you offer, but how many also appreciate I'm also giving you some kind of business lessons, right? Because it ties into offer and business is the same. Like it's a lot of relevancy. So think about when we were caveman and cavewoman days, right? How does it work? From the dawn of time, all business can be boiled down to one single thing, and that is an offer. Before we even introduce currency to human beings, that we have coins, shell, all that. Before all that is how do we do business, right? The first business transaction in human history started off with an offer. It's called bartering, yes? Right? You got some chicken, I have a cow, my family's been eating cow for a long time, we have not tried chicken. How about you give me some chicken, I give you a cow, right? Oh, okay, we've been eating chicken, we're sick of chicken. I'll give you some chicken, right? You give me a cow. That's an offer, isn't it, right? That's how human beings, we have this type of resources, You have that type of resources before we have currency, before Bitcoin. Forget it, right? It's I got something that we make, you got something that you make, and then you have another party. Hey, I've never tried chicken, I've never tried cow, but I have a lot of potatoes. I know how to grow up potatoes. How about I give you some potato, you give me some chicken, you give me some cow, right? That's how business started. Yes? Until, right, the cow person's like, you know what? It's kind of heavy every single time I got to carry a cow from my place to your place. How about we come up with something a little bit more effective? And that's how they introduced currency. Maybe we can carry something a little smaller, right? That we can use it as a value. That's money, how money was born, right? That, hey, this 3 pieces of stone is the equivalent of 3 chickens. Oh, okay, so next time you want chicken, just give me these 3 pieces of stone and I'll give you 3 chickens, right? That's how business works. Now, it's a fun example, but that's how it really is. Fast forward today, right? It has not changed. It has not changed. The difference is now we buy things that we want with money. But the principle of business, how commerce works, has not changed in thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's, I've got something that you want, you've got something that I want, that I don't have. I want to make a trade. Right? In a civilization, the difference is now we have businesses, we have jobs, right? We do things to earn money in order to have purchase power to buy something that we want. Are you with me or are you lost? Okay, put in the chat, you understand. Say, I understand. It's important, right? It's a philosophical discussion, but it's a very practical discussion. So you have something that I want that I don't have, and this is what makes money such an interesting topic. Because when you understand this, then money is not the piece of paper that we use, and money is not even the digits in the bank. It's not what it is. It's not what it is. People think it's not the Bitcoin, that's not what money is. That's what most people think is what it is. Right? It's a very service level understanding of how money works. So I want to go into, as we talk about offer, as you craft your offer, having the offer, how to craft it, but also once you have an offer that works, that you know you don't need to change. And the most amount of work that you would put into is either crafting it in the beginning, which I'll walk you through the steps, also optimizing. Please write this down. For those who have offers, from today, my homework, my assignment for you is to go back and optimize what you have. I don't want you to change what you have, right? If it's selling well, good. How do we add a couple components? If you can add this one thing to it to optimize the offer, right? Or if, in some cases, to simplify your offer. How many of you think you might need to simplify a little bit of what you do, right? To simplify your offer, and then you utilize social media, marketing to help sell more of the same thing, right? We now have over 10 million followers across social media, and it's not selling many, many different things. It's selling a handful of things, right? And the principles I'll be teaching you today, please know everything I will be teaching you is not from a book, it's no theory, it's not like, oh, I think you should do this, it's what has worked for us, right? The secrets, the principles I'm going to be sharing with you today together, right, has produced over $100 million in high ticket sales just in the last couple of years alone for us, for our company. Not our clients, me, us, my company. So there's no theory here. Yes, it works. And all I'm asking is try them. Try them. They might sound counterintuitive, but try them first. See how they work for your business. And money is the purest motive that exists. So if an offer Since the dawn of time, I've got something that you want, you've got something that I want, let's trade, let's do some business. Later on, we introduce currency with money. Money is the purest motive that exists on earth, because when we introduce currency and money to our society, what happens now is, this is also why money is a very spiritual thing, because it's, you think about, we do things to make money for something that we might buy and we might purchase in the future. It's kind of invisible. You don't spend money where you earn it. Think about it. Say you have a job, you are earning a salary, you earn it, that's not where you spend your money. You spend your money somewhere else. Yes? Right? It's a very spiritual thing. So what it means is that when we go purchase something, that let's say we go to a hotel, right? We check into a nice 5-star hotel, and there's the bellman, right, carrying my luggage to the room. I give him a little tip, right? I give him a tip because he is helping me carrying the bags. He's carrying the bags because he's going to earn some tips, hopefully, right? Most people would give them tips. It's a very pure motive, not because I'm nice, not because he's nice. It's because there's something that we want from each other. Does that make sense? Right? So it's not, I'm not saying don't be nice, but it's a very pure motive, and I like that. And I prefer that type of business relationship as well, because it's clear. What I don't want in some cases is like sometimes people doing me a favor and helping me, and then I don't really know what the agenda is. I prefer, hey, how much is this? Because it's clean. Versus I feel like I owe somebody something, and like I'm unclear how to pay them back, and like I was unclear. I prefer, hey, you help me carry the bag, here's the tips. Good, simple. Right? I pay you, you do a good job. Good, simple. I prefer that than this uneasy feeling of I don't know what they want. And if that's the case, when your offer goes back to clarity, right? When you provide clarity to your prospects and your clients, it's easier for them to buy. So clarity is very powerful when it comes to offer. Very powerful, right? And 99% of business owners don't know how to craft an offer. In fact, most don't even know what an offer is, and I'll explain what it is in a moment. They don't know what it is. They get confused, right? So let me go through a little bit of this, then I want to unmute and just hear some of your, maybe share a little bit of just your takeaway so far. Yeah? Okay, so they don't know what an offer is. So let me tell you what an offer is not. So here's what is not. What is not an irresistible offer? An irresistible offer, write this down, is not a special offer. An irresistible offer is not a special offer. A special offer means it's not, this is the biggest sale ever, it's not 20% off, it's not buy one, get one free. Those are what I call special offers. Those are promotional offers. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not your irresistible offer. That's not what it is. Is that clear? Put in chat. If it's clear, put in chat. Clear. Okay, I want to emphasize this. It's not your irresistible offer. It's not 20% off. It's not buy one, get one free. It's not all that. No, it's none of that stuff. Okay, it's none of that stuff. What it is a special offer, usually a promotional offer, right? It's just usually some sort of a one-time deal or a special discount. The irresistible offer is not, right? The irresistible offer is it's kind of the core, right? The heart of your business, that it becomes your identity. So you think about Coca-Cola, classic Coke, right? That's the core offer. Big Mac is one of or the Happy Meal is one of the core offers of McDonald's, right? Now, do they run special from time to time, like $1 coffee, all that stuff? Remember that? Yeah, that's special offer, that's okay, but that's not what's the core. So in other words, your offer, in some cases, becomes your identity. And I'll give you a lot of examples for today. It becomes your identity. When your offer is so strong, it becomes your identity. Example, what we have, right? When I, a number of years ago, started off, like, launched the program, High Ticket Closer Certification Program, which I teach business owners how to close high ticket sales. It started off with an offer. Yes, it's an offer, right? And from the offer, because we have created such momentum with that particular offer, and that becomes, the high ticket becomes part of my identity, right? And now we have what? High ticket closer certification program, we have high ticket coach certification program, we have high ticket expert podcast. High ticket becomes the identity, but it started off with the offer. When your offer is so strong and so compelling, it becomes your identity. That's when you know you're doing it right. Just like McDonald's, when Big Mac sells so well, there's so many of them, right? It becomes part of McDonald's identity. If you ask most people, hey, think of a McDonald's product, most people would say Big Mac, yes, right? They have other burgers and cheeseburger, but most people, if you think of a signature product, they would say, yeah, Big Mac. It becomes the identity. Coca-Cola, the same thing, right? Yeah, they have Coke Zero, they have Diet Coke, they have all kinds of soft drinks, but for most people, they would think of the red can, right? That's Coca-Cola, right? It becomes identity. Are you with me? Yes? So when your offer is clear, when it's good, when you sell a lot of it, when the marketplace recognizes you for that, it becomes identity. Oh, you are the company that does this. This is the brand that does that. Do you have other products? Yes, but that's kind of the thing that you are known for, right? And you sell that more than anything else. And you basically kind of build a business around kind of that thing, right? And an irresistible offer is not a statement of bragging rights. So example, sometimes I talk to business owners, they think an irresistible offer is bragging, say, hey, we've been in business for X amount of years. No one gives a shit. Right? Oh, we provide the best customer service. How do I know? How do I know? Like, how do you even quantify that? Compared to who? Compared to what? Like, those are claims you can't, like, you can't back. Like, well, if you're the best feature, like, how? According to who? So those are very fluffy things. Very fluffy things. Now, unless your business has been over, like, something, let's say your financial institution and you've been around 100 years. Example, here in Vancouver, we have a private club. It's been around more than 100 years. So that's a part of the irresistible offer. The clubs have been around over 100 years of history. Okay. Part of the offer. It's okay. But that's not what makes it irresistible. Is that clear? Yeah. What makes it, as example, a private club membership, what makes it irresistible? Put in the chat for me. What's the irresistible offer? Why people buy a private club membership? Prestige, luxury, status. Yeah. Exclusivity? Yes. Unique access? Yeah. Network. It's network. People who join a private club, they want to, yeah, restaurant is nice, they have some facility, they have a little small gym. Who cares? You can get it anywhere. No, you join the club because you know who is going to be in the club. Those are the people you want to network with. That's why they're paying for that. Because everything else, they can get a little gym, a little whatever facility thing, a little meeting room. They can get it anywhere. Why do they have to pay a membership for the club? No. They join the membership because who they would have access to. And the more expensive the club is, the higher the caliber of the people. Hong Kong, there's a golf club, right, that people join. Very prestige, right? The fee to get the golf club membership, it's $1 million US. $1 million US. You don't need to spend $1 million US to golf. How many agree? No. But people who buy that, they like the fact that anyone who's here, they spend $1 million to be here. That means you filter out anyone that you don't want to talk to. Anyone is here, they're at a different level. I'm playing golf with that guy, let's talk business. Because that helps me to filter 99.99% of the population. The average Joe is not going to be there. Now you're talking to anyone that's like significant. So it's like, hey, if you're in Hong Kong, you want to, shortest period of time, meet the wealthiest people, say, hey, I'm going to join a membership. I'm going to meet the 50, 100 most powerful families and people in Hong Kong. That's why they buy. They're not buying for the golf. Who cares? That's the irresistible offer. Do you understand? They're very clear what they're selling. It's not, oh, we've got the best golf course, we've got the greenest grass, we've got, who cares? None of that matters. That's all just stuff that makes it more compelling, but that's not why people buy. So private club membership, the same thing, and golf club membership, the same thing. All this is the same thing. So we have to be very clear, what is it that we're selling? See, the last thing, like let's say take the golf club in Hong Kong, last thing they want to do is, hey, we're running a special, 20% off if you join our membership. Should they market it that way? Never. Never. It attracts the wrong people. No, the way they would market it, hey, we're at $1 million, we have a waiting list. Right? You have to give 3 references. You've got a 1-year waiting list, right? And we're thinking of increasing our prices. That's how they market it. That 20% off would have a negative effect on the membership sales versus this way. 1-year waiting list, and you got to bump up your price, and it's hard to get in. You got references. Good. That means anyone who's in, they're extremely qualified. I want in. When you're selling high-tech offer, you got to put on a different hat, right? And think about, what do my people want? And ask yourself, why are they actually buying? What makes them tick? Does that make sense? Put up your hand. Yes? Yeah. And also, an irresistible offer is not a benefit statement, right? A benefit statement only answers the question, what's in it for me? And it's a good thing when in a sales presentation, in your ad, the benefit statement, that's important. But that's not an irresistible offer. This is why it's not a slogan. It's not what this is. Isn't it interesting as I go through this? How many of you are getting more clarity right now, right? Oh, I thought it's this. No, it's not. Oh, it's actually not that. I thought, no, it's this. Oh, actually, it's not that either. And with clarity comes power. Clarity helps you to craft that offer, right? So, because with an irresistible offer, when you're leading with a benefit, that will capture your target's interest, because people want to know what's in it for me. That's fine. That's the good old WIIFM, right? We tune in their radio frequency. But if you only lead with, hey, what's in it for me, you only lead with a benefit statement, in a very crowded marketplace, the next question your prospect would have is, what's the catch? So I'll give you an example. Let's say I walk down the street right now, right? And the benefit statement is I'm holding a $100 bill. I say, here's a $100 bill. I just give the bill. Here's, take a $100 bill. Most people would be like, whoa, what's the catch? Why are you giving me $100? Oh, it's no catch. Just take $100. No, what's the catch? What's going on, right? Same thing with benefit. Hey, here's how I can help you do this. Oh, what's the catch? Why you give me something? People are a little bit more skeptical. How many recognize? People are more skeptical nowadays, right? Like, ooh, why is it free? What's the catch? So it's not enough. You need it, but it's not enough. Write it down. You need it, but it's not enough. They're asking what's the catch. So here are 5 questions an irresistible offer must answer. Ready? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Ready? Okay. Number 1, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? It's 5 chickens. It's a cow, right? What is it? Believe it or not, this one actually sometimes it's. I talk to business owners. Even this one, they're not clear. They try to explain to me whatever they're selling. I said, what is it? Well, it's this. It's gonna be this, and kind of this. And I said, I don't understand. What is it? What is it? They can't even articulate that very, very well. Right? And they themselves are confused. If you're confused, forget your prospects. They're definitely confused, right? So what is it? What is it? The second thing is, how will it help me? So what is it? Second question, how will it help me? Kind of like what's in it for me, right? How would it help me? And number 3, why should I believe you? That's where the skepticism comes in, right? People are skeptical, so why should I believe you? So you think this will help me, but why should I believe you? Number 4, how much is it? How much is it? What's the cost? What's the investment? And number 5, this is the most important one of all. Why is it relevant? Now put in the chat, tell me, what is the difference between number 2 and number 5? What is the difference between how will it help me versus why is it relevant? Let's see if you know the answer. Put in the chat. How will it help me? Sung Yung is why they should take action now. Let's see. Urgency must be focused on solving the pain. What makes it stand out? All very correct. All very correct. So, how will it help me? Is write this down. Is personal, right? How will it help me specifically? Me, right? Personally, as a prospect. Number 5 is why is it relevant? Has to do with timing. Timing. In other words, why is it relevant to me in this situation, like currently, like now? Right? So example, let's take Zoom as an example, right? What is it? It is a software that allows you to have phone calls and video conferencing with anyone in the world. That's what it is, right? How would it help me? Well, because now you can talk to anyone in the world with the software. It doesn't matter if they download the software or not. You can have meetings, you connect with them 24/7. Great. Why should I believe you? Because we have 100 million users. We have 200 million users. Well, how much is it? Well, it's free, but if you want to upgrade a version, you pay a few bucks, a month. Great. Why is it relevant? Well, because let's take a couple years ago. Because of COVID, we are stuck at home, so this tool, this is why it's more relevant than ever. Does that make sense, right? So this is why is it relevant? They know how it would help me, but why is it relevant now? That's a question your offer must answer. So let's just take a step back. Let's just circle back what I was sharing with you, was teaching you. Good times, you have a different certain messaging. Bad times, you change your messaging. Remember that? I was just talking about that, right? A few minutes ago. So why is it relevant is where now you tailor your message and say, hey, here's my core offer, but why is it relevant to you now is because what's going on in the world, right? What's going on in the city? What's going on in the country right now? This is why it's relevant, right? Same thing. So you're changing it to make sure. So one of the things that you could do when you go back to optimize your offer, for those who have offers now, is, how can I make my offer more relevant given what's going on in the world? How could I tie my offer to the current beliefs people have in the marketplace right now? That's a very profound question, right? How could I piggyback on that? How do I tie that into, here's what's going on in the marketplace, and how do I make that more relevant to my audience? That's what they're paying attention to, right? How can I kind of change that? So it has to do with timing. It's very important. Because you could get, let's say, what is it? How it would help me? Why should I believe you? How much is it? Let's say it check off all the boxes. You answer all these questions, right? Example, I'll give you a perfect one. I'll give you a perfect example, okay? Let's say you love beef. I'm going to take an example, okay? I don't know why I have McDonald's in my mind right now. Like beef, right? Just beef. You love beef and you love like very nice, just nice beef. And I say, hey, here's a piece of Wagyu beef from Japan, right? And these are the cows, how they listen to music and they massage the cow and they drink beer, that kind of Wagyu beef, right? So delicious, mouth-watering, right? And why should I believe you? Hey, look at the marble on the beef, and you also look at a certificate from Japan, certified, right? Wagyu beef, great. How much is it? Oh, it's expensive. It's $200 a piece, expensive. Okay, you say, oh, I love beef. I love it. It's great. I do believe it. $200, no problem. I'm willing to pay for it, right? Let's talk, why is it relevant? Let's say you just had a massive meal. You want, like, all you can eat buffet. You want to throw up. Now I'm presenting this offer to you, right? You're like, I want to eat it, but I want to throw up, man. Even I like beef, I can't eat. I'm dying here, man. Like, I can't, right? So the right offer, wrong timing. Are you with me, right? Yeah, it's great. You love it, you want it, you believe it. Doesn't matter. No, I don't. Now, on the other hand, it's like you haven't had beef in a long time. You are hungry. You could afford it. You're like, oh, now I want to buy it. So now it's relevant to you, timing. And please write this down. Timing matters more than you think. So you may be selling your offer to the marketplace right now, and you're selling it, but you may be selling them at the wrong time. Not for you, in their lives. In their lives. Let me give you one more example to kind of really bring this home. Think about in retailing, for retailers. Is timing important? Absolutely. In fact, for retailers, what is one of the most important months in the whole year in terms of sales? December. For most retailers, December. Timing. And in some cases, some of them, December makes up 4 or 5 months of sales for them. It's that important. They miss that, they're screwed. December is the most important month for most retailers. Black Friday, yeah, in US, exactly. Boxing Day, right? So there's certain time that is very, very important. So that's how, now, it's not like, think about it, it's not like you can go buy it in any other, like you cannot not go and buy it in any other months. You could. But no, but people flock there to buy gifts because the holiday spirit, because of some brilliant marketers came up with the concept of, hey, December, you're just supposed to spend money, and they came up with that thing, and boom, right? Because you got to think about, to be critical, and that's part of being a good entrepreneur. You step back and you look at all these things. Really, what has Santa Claus has to do with shopping? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A fictional character came up by very smart entrepreneurs. Work with the retailers and turn it into a thing. Same thing with the whole diamond industry, right? It's exactly the same. That's a perfect example of that. Just so you know, if you study, right, diamond, they were in many years ago, because you think about diamond, is it a necessity? It's not. You don't really need it to survive. So the diamond mines, the companies who control that, who create diamonds, who manufacture diamonds, it's like, how can we sell all these little sparkly stones? How do we make people want to buy this? They don't really need it. It's not a currency. It's not like gold. And how do we sell it at an inflated price? Well, let's come up with a system. Let's grade it. Let's do all that stuff. Cool, right? Let's create value. And even that wasn't working. And a brilliant marketing person came up with the idea. Well, what is one of the most powerful human emotions in the world that we could tap into? How about love? Well, how do we do that? What if we make diamond a symbol of love? Oh, that sounds pretty good. How are we going to do that? Let's create some guilt in the marketplace. Let's create some guilt. Let's make it mandatory. Let's create some ads. Let's educate the public that if man wants to propose to a woman, and if they don't have some sort of diamond, that means they're not sincere. Oh, even better, let's create diamond ring. Something they could wear on their fingers, not necklace, because you can't see that shit. That people can see that. Let's make that a symbol. And let's market that way. So imagine a man, modern days, propose and say, honey, we've been together for so long. I want you to marry me. Okay, where's the ring? I have no ring. I love you though. How about the little Coca-Cola thing? Can that be a ring? That's still my love. Represents my love, right? And then as a man, what you get a slap on your face. You love me no more, right? I thought you loved me. No. You love me, you get a diamond ring from me. If you really love me, you get a big ass one. Not a small little shit something I can show to my friend and brag. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so big. How many? Not with the tiny little. No, if you give me a tiny little thing, freaking, you don't love me. Give me a big ass one, right? Like sparkly, right? It becomes a thing, right? And but how do we make it represent love? Hey, diamonds, forever. Love forever. Of course, until they get divorced, but forever. Right? Diamonds are forever. Now let me ask you this, gentlemen. You know you could go to the beach and pick up a rock. That lasts quite forever too. And they're fucking free. Pick up a little small rock on the beach. This thing lasts, it's going to last, honey, trust me, it's going to last way longer than you and me. You and I gone, this little stone is still going to be here. We don't need to spend $5,000 on the diamond. See if she will marry you. Not going to work. right? You can pick a lot of things that last forever. Now, what I'm saying is the diamond companies, they get it. They have created an irresistible offer. Not even irresistible. An offer you cannot refuse. You cannot say no to because of social pressure, right? In fact, it becomes such a symbol that when a man proposes to a lady, when she accepts the proposal, all the friends, they show this. They don't say, oh, I'm engaged. They show this. Oh my God, yeah, look, oh, so beautiful. They show this. It becomes society norm. That's how they create the sales. Think about it. But again, if you analyze it, and why you want to analyze these things, because it makes you smarter as an entrepreneur, you don't need a diamond ring to get married. What you need is a simple $1 pen that you sign on a piece of paper. You don't need a diamond ring, right? And then think about the whole industry. When other businesses, they see, oh my goodness, people spend money. Guilt is such a powerful emotion, right? They spend money on a wedding ring. What else we can sell them? Let's sell them on the idea they need a big ass wedding, right? Let's sell them the bridal services. Let's sell them bridal dresses let's sell them a lot of things. Let's get them a big birthday cake, right? The hotel gets, oh, you're going to have a wedding. You got to have a nice hotel. You got to have this. You got to have that. Now it becomes a whole multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Listen to me. It's all made up. It's all made up by somebody who understood offer. None of that. But it becomes the norm. Oh, you get married, you got to get a wedding ring, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. No, you don't need to do shit if you don't want to. But if you don't, you're not getting married. Because that's everyone's expectation. The family expects that. Your wife expects that. Or maybe the man expects everybody. The friends expects that. Yeah, it's like when you don't. It's like imagine, oh, we're getting married. Where's the ring? Oh, we're not doing the diamond ring thing. What? Where's the wedding? We're not having a wedding. What? We're just gonna sign the paper and travel. Come on, let me give you. What's going on? What's going on? Is he not loving you anymore? What's going on? Tell me. Come on, it's okay, girlfriend. Talk to me, right? No, we're fine. We don't. Come on. It's a money issue. Do you need a loan? Like, no. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this, right? For the Indian culture, is even more so, right? Friends who are Indians, no. 3 days wedding. 7 days wedding. Right? No, not 1 hour. 3 days. 3 days. Dance, food, get drunk, 3 days. If you're very wealthy, 7 days. That's like spend millions and millions of dollars, right? Somebody came up with the idea, hey, forget the 2 hour thing. We're Indians. 3 days. Right? We got to do the dance. 3 days. It's a culture thing. They make it a culture thing. It's very powerful. Like once you understand and observe, you will notice now, after today's training, you will be able to pick up, that's an irresistible offer. That's how they're marketing it. Why are we buying that? How are they selling that? How they're creating demand? And what you recognize is a lot of stuff that we buy in our day-to-day life, they're made up. They're all made up. Think about what you have right now. Think about the shirt you're buying. Think about what you're wearing. Think about what's in your background. Think about the chair you're sitting on. Think about the price. Who came out with that price? Who came with that price? Who said that that's how much it is? Do you understand? It's all made up. It's all made up by somebody, by brand, by company. So I say, if you want to make a lot of money, understand that you can also make up your own price. Somebody says, oh, this diamond ring is worth $10,000. According to who? Somebody came with that price. And you have the power, when you understand it, to do the same. Everything that we buy in our lives, the price that we pay, is all made up by somebody. I guarantee you. In school, they teach you, oh, it's the law of economics. Bullshit. It's not determined by the marketplace, it's determined by the marketer. Do you understand? It's not determined by the marketplace, it's determined by the marketer. Someone, somewhere, came up with the idea, I want to sell it at this price. How can we do that? Look at the education system. You see there's tuition for schools skyrocketing, not because, oh, it just somehow it just goes up, and that's not true. It's a group of people determining, hey, we sell at this price, they're still buying it, they're still coming to school, well, let's increase the price, and they still come to school, let's keep increasing the price. Because it didn't start off as that expensive. How many understand that? The school system didn't start off, it started off as something that it's very affordable to everybody, yes? If you study history, back in the days, you don't need to get into debt to go to school. Nowadays, kids, they need to get into debt, student loan, work with the government. It's like, hey, you can't afford it? How about the government give you some money so you could afford it? They need to get into debt in order to go to school. Do you understand? Yeah. Because they figure out, hey, we could increase the price. And it used to be, you go to school, you have a good career, you get a diploma, you get a degree, hopefully you get a job or career. Yes, that's kind of the irresistible offer, right? Spend 4 years in school, learn this particular skill, learn these subjects. By the time you're done, you get a piece of paper, hopefully you get a job that pays you back a certain return. Yeah, right? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the old promise. Now they don't even promise that anymore. They don't even promise that anymore. They're not promising a good career. Because they know whatever subject you study may not, that whole fucking industry may not be around by the time you're done. They're not going to make their promise. They're not going to, because whatever they teach in school, unless certain industry, like, doctors and like medical, like certain professions, yeah, but most of those subjects, they're outdated anyway. They're outdated. How do you know they're outdated? They don't teach you money. Where's the school? Where's the subject when I go to college? Where's Wealth 101? Why can't I take that class? Where's Money 202? Why can't I take that class? How about Self-Confidence 101? Where's that class? It doesn't exist. How about ChatGPT 202? Doesn't exist. How about Social Media 303? Doesn't exist. All the things that we need to learn, the kids need to learn, not teaching them. Not teaching them. Are you with me? Right? So, and I'm not sidetracking. You see, I circle back. That doesn't matter if it's the school system, the government, big corporation. They understand certain things that we don't. And it's our job to understand it. Let me pause a second. Let me unmute any who would like to share some of your, just maybe a light bulb moment, a little bit of aha moment that you've had so far. Just put up your hand, you unmute, we'll unmute you. And boy, can help me, just unmute. Just put up your hand, click, or maybe click on the icon, you put up your hand so I know. How about John? Is it John? Yeah. John, if you can mute. I think you're muted. Just make sure you can hear it. I think your mic is not on. He was on mute, hold on. No? John, say a few words. No? Your mic? No, I can't hear. Yeah, your input mic. Well, John, we'll give you a few minutes, maybe sort that out. Yeah. Who else would like to share? Let's see. Put your hand. Let me see. Lucia?
Hi, Sifu. Hi, everyone. I think that, the most valuable moment for me so far, like the light bulb moment, was when you explained how important is to tie your offer with what's going on in the world right now. And I think that's something that I'm missing, in this moment.
Nice, nice. Put in chat how many of you also have that aha moment, right? Make it relevant, timing, right? Great, great share. Round of applause. Let's hear. Applause. How about Ricky?
Hello, Dan. Hi. My MWM moment was you tell us at a good time we deliver more positive message on the offer, and then when it's bad time you do the pain point and tell them move away from what they want to move away. Yeah,
that's right. Negative. More negative.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, I was doing positive all the time, I think. So
yes. And most of us, by the way, Ricky, just for most of us, most entrepreneurs tend to be more optimistic and positive. That's usually because we need the optimism to keep going. So we tend to, if you look at 10 entrepreneurs, 9 would mostly use positivity to sell. Like, how is my thing better? How this is going to be more like, better product, better feature. They don't think a lot about hey, what's the negative, right? How can I, but most people who are not entrepreneurs, you think about it, just like the general public, most people actually naturally more negative.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. And I after you said that, I look at other people that are marketing, they actually is doing that. And I was like, oh, time to be.
Nice, round of applause. Good share. Very good share. Very good share. Let's do one more. How about we have Mohammed?
Hey, Sifu. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me very well?
Yes.
Yes, I would say my money worth moment was about simple scale and fancy fills. I learned this the hard way when I had a restaurant business. Me and my partners were always saying, let's say, when we are not generating enough sales, oh, why we don't add this meal and why we don't add that meal, and let's, grab the market of the kids and add the chicken nuggets and grab the market of, people who like seafood and add the fried, shrimp and so on. We failed. So it was a money worth moment for me because rather than sticking to one meal, marketing it to more people, we used to dive advice a lot, and then
Yes.
it didn't work for us.
That's good. That's very good. Painful experience, but it's much more relevant now. It hits home, right? Like, oh yeah, we should have done that, right? We should look at
100%.
McDonald's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one? Right?
Exactly.
That's it. Well, that's
Exactly.
good. That's good. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Thank you, Siva.
You got it. You got it. So the important thing is I'm going to walk you through what to do, but more importantly, I think today my goal is to give you a way to think about these things, right? I give you a framework to think about your offer or any offers in the marketplace. So from now on, you kind of have like a new filter. Like, oh, maybe I could do it differently. Or, oh, that's an irresistible offer. Or, oh, that's a special offer. That's not an irresistible offer. Or you look at something like, that's not a good offer. They're trying to do too many things, right? Or you look at a business like, oh, that's good. That's like nice and simple, right? And they've been doing it for years. Any business that's been selling the same thing for many, many years, that is a sign of greatness. So if you have to have stability in your business, if you want scalability for your business, right? How do you know if your business is running well? It's when you don't have to reinvent all the time. Please write this down. In different stages of the business, in the beginning, when you're starting out, you're trying to find product market fit, find the offer market fit, right? And once you found it, okay, now I'm scaling it, I'm growing it, and that's growing. A good business can do this without changing a whole lot of things. That means you've got an offer that works, you've got a marketing process that works, you've got a sales process that works, you've got a team that's fulfilling, that's all good. What you see businesses, example, who are entrepreneurs that's not very mature, right? What they do is this. They come up with something of the week, right? Something of the week. Like Muhammad, which like, oh, I'll do a new item on the menu this week. Next week we're gonna do something else. It means whatever they were doing wasn't working. So logically, you think about it. If what you were doing were not working, why would you do more of what doesn't work? Right? It's like here's an offer that's not selling. Let's come up with another offer also that doesn't sell. And let's stack on that a third offer that also doesn't sell. Instead of, hey, why is this thing not selling? What's missing here? Let's figure this thing out first. Then we scale it one at a time. Versus this, if you're always having emergency meeting with your team and you're always pivoting, you're always like, oh, we're changing this and changing that, that means you have not dialed that in. You have not dialed in the offer yet. Because you're always in this pivoting mode. And I'm not saying don't pivot. From time to time, we do need to do that. But you don't pivot when you're here. You pivot when you're here. There's a big difference. Right? Most business owners, you try to pivot in here. So take Amazon. Amazon started off with, hey, we're going to sell books. We compete with physical bookstores, but we're going to do it online. Crack the code, product market fit. Psh, massive company. Then they pivot and say, hey, books are good, but people are not reading as many books. Maybe we should do Kindle, digital. Maybe we should do Amazon server, which is now one of the most profitable divisions that they have, right? Maybe we should do Audible. They make their acquisition, right? And then expand to now e-com and all that. That's a pivot. When they've already hit growth and now they're kind of the maturity, then they pivot. So now what happens is, then they go to next, right? They go to next curve. What most entrepreneurs do, where they fucked up, they try to do the pivot here. They haven't got the shit together, and they're pivoting every damn week. Why they're pivoting every damn week? Here's the truth. Ready for the truth? because they lack the skills and they don't want to admit it to scale the business. They don't know what it takes. They lack the business acumen and skills in order to scale. So they thought, let me change my offer versus what are the skills I need what are the skills I need to develop in order to sell this. Take the Muhammad's example of the restaurant, right? Oh, today we're doing chicken nuggets, and then we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, versus, hey, here's one item that we have. How do we market? How do I get traffic to the restaurant? How do I make sure it's so good people would come back? How do I increase the frequency of the visit? How do I maximize the value each time they visit? They eat a little meal. Can I offer them drinks? How can I increase the margin? No. Let me come up with a new item every damn week. And most entrepreneurs, unfortunately, they are blinded by the truth. The truth is not the item. The truth is they don't know business. They don't know how it works. They don't know how to bring customers. They don't know how to keep customers. They don't know how to sell those customers. Once you figure that out, then you have the offer market fit, then you scale, then you pivot at here. You don't pivot at here. When people are pivoting here, that means they don't know what they're doing. And I see that every day. Are you with me? Yeah? Yeah. So you got to know where you are. You don't pivot in here. You pivot in here, not a startup. Because in the beginning, which are the step number one when I go into it, in the beginning, it's like a little gun. You only have a few bullets. When you're starting out, not a lot of resources, not a lot of capital, limited bandwidth, no team, right? You only have so many bullets. Assuming like say one or two, you gotta make sure you pick the market properly, you have the proper offer to get that going because you cannot waste too many bullets. Once you're here, you have more resources. You can test things. Like, we're gonna test a product. Now you have like a machine gun, I miss a couple bullets, not a big deal. Right? I could afford to fail. But in here, you cannot afford to make that many mistakes because too many mistakes, what happens? Put in the chat. What happens? Yeah, the business is done. So you could actually make more mistakes here, but in the beginning, you can't. This is why it's silly when I see entrepreneurs, when they don't have a lot of resources, when they're like, oh, I'm trying to figure this stuff out. And they cheapen out when it comes to learning. When you only have a couple bullets, when you have limited resources, why would you not invest in yourself and learn this stuff? It's exactly because you can't afford too many mistakes. So how do you learn? You either learn from your own mistakes or learn from other people's mistakes. True? And knowing you cannot keep learning from your own mistakes is too costly. It's like shocking to me. They would lose $100,000 and they would not invest $1,000 in a course. I never understand the math. I truly don't understand. They would hire a bad person that cost them tens of thousands of dollars, and they would not take a course on how to hire properly. I don't get it. Like I don't operate like that. But that's how most people operate. That's why I don't have a lot of empathy when like business fail. Like I see the big failure, 80, 90%. I'm like, what have they done that deserves success first? I know what they have not done to deserve failure, though. It's like, oh, I'm not getting sales. It's funny. Like, but seafood, I'm not getting enough sales. I said, what have you learned about sales? Have you read a book on sales? No. Do you see like a correlation between that and this? Yeah, but I don't want to read a book. It's $10 from Amazon. Then you won't get sales. Because you always continue to have this problem. Then what I recognize is most people actually they're not entrepreneurs, they just play entrepreneurship. They're not entrepreneurs. They're not business owners. They just play business. They want to pretend to play. They don't actually want to play. They pretend to play. Because they just, whatever it is, they got laid off, right? They found something they want to do. They want to be their own boss, but they're not actually cut out for that. Because someone, it's like an athlete. If someone who wants to be an athlete, they're going to train. True? If someone's going to say, I'm going to be a professional athlete, they're going to train. But here, in the business world, I'm going to be a CEO, I'm going to build a business, I'm going to build this, I'm going to do that. But I don't need training. Like, it's funny how this works. When a professional athlete in any professional musician, you look at any category, any sector, any industry, anyone who's a professional, who is a true professional, they dedicate, 10, 20, 30 hours training a week. You look at entrepreneurs, how many of them dedicate 10, 20 hours a week training? They don't even read a book a year. Forget training, right? So you're here, you should give yourself a pat on the shoulder, right? You're getting trained. You're going to the dojo, going to the gym, learning how it works. Way more important to learn how things work at this stage because every mistake is too costly. One mistake could take the business under, yes? It's way more costly. It's never about, I can't afford it. I can't afford to do the training. I can't afford the time. I can't afford. So you could afford to fail? Like that's more affordable? Is failure more affordable? It makes no sense. Like people's value system is fucked. It's crazy. It's crazy. So you got to recognize that very, very clearly when you should pivot and when you should not pivot. When you should not pivot. So when you answer these 5 questions, so then the irresistible offer, what it is, write this down, is an identity building offer central to a product, service, or company, just like Big Mac. It builds the identity of McDonald's. Where the believable return on investment, ROI, is communicated so clearly and efficiently, that's immediately apparent that you would be a fool, your prospect would be a fool to pass it up. That's the definition of an offer. I'll say that one more time. An irresistible offer is an identity building offer central to a product or service or your company, your whole brand, where the believable, it has to be believable, return on investment doesn't always have to be money. It's communicated so clearly and efficiently. Very simple message. That's immediately apparent to your prospect. It would be like, I would be dumb not to take this offer. It's not 20% off. It's not buy one, get one free. It's this. Very, very clear what it is. And that takes thinking time. How many would believe it's worth thinking it through before you spend $1 marketing that? If you're marketing it right now, it's worthwhile to spend a little bit of thinking time to get some help on just, hey, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Right? Run it by, right, your mentor, someone that you trust, that, hey, am I doing this right? Do I have all the key elements? Am I missing a few things? Simply because with someone with more experience, right, have seen thousands and thousands of offers, they would know, oh yeah, you've got 80% of it, you're missing the 20%. Do this and this and this, boom. This would work. Or, oh, actually, 100%, good to go. Let's market it, let's scale. You're good to go. Someone with experience, like with scar tissues in the battlefield, they could tell you, like, that works or that doesn't work. Make sense? That's what an offer is. When the offer is clear, this happens. You want your offer to be so clear. Your prospect says, shut up, just take my money. I'm good. I got it. It needs to be that clear. If you sit down with the prospect and they ask you what is the offer, and you're like hum and ha and like, oh, this, and you kind of get this and this and this, and like, what? And they have more questions, no good. By the time you're done, if you're doing a pitch, you're doing an offer, you're making an offer, by the time you're done and they say, shut up and take my money, I'm in. That's a good offer. That's a good offer. It's like this I learned from my mentor, my first mentor, Alan. I used to learn, like when I was learning copywriting from him, and I would write a sales letter. And I would ask Alan and say, hey, Alan, what's the feedback? Like, what do you think of the copy? He said, well, run it by some people. And I run it by a few people, and they will say, oh, it's good. It's nice, right? Ain't bad. Oh, yeah, this sounds very good. I think it's very well written, right? Anything like that is garbage. He said, shit can that, it's garbage. What you're looking for is, hey, I've got a sales letter here, I've got my copy here, take a look. And they say to you, where can I get some? How can I buy this? Then you know you've got something. Not, oh, that's nice. No, well, holy shit, this exists? How can I get some? Take my money. Now you know your offer has some legs. Because people, write this down, vote with the wallets, not with the mouths. People vote with the wallets. They might say, because a lot of entrepreneurs, right, they came up with an idea. Remember, all our problems started with an idea. Oh, I have an idea. Let me talk to my mom. Mom, what do you think? I think I want to do this product. Oh, I think Sundays are good. Go for it. Yeah, I talked to a few friends. What do you think? It's good. Awesome, man. You talk to some people. Yeah, it's good. You should do it, right? Finally, you mortgage your house, you develop the product. Now you go back to them. Hey, I got the product now. Oh, congratulations. You want some? No. I thought you said it's good. Yeah, it's good. But I thought you love it. I love it. But I just don't want to buy it. People vote with their wallets. You show them the offer. Hey, is this good? How can I get some? Right? Then you take a little machine, pre-order. Give me a credit card. That's pre-order. Coming soon. Let's take the money first. Then you know they're serious. I'm joking, but I'm not joking at the same time. Are you with me? Right? That's, you know, people vote with their wallets. Why I teach in terms of if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an expert, for those of you who are selling courses, don't create a course and sell it. You sell the course before you create it. Because if you can't sell the course before you create it, what makes you think you can create the course and then sell it? Do you understand? It's the proof of concept. You could sell this. And you only create it after you've sold it. You don't do it the other way around. Because I see coaches, consultants, they spend so much time creating the perfect course and they launch a course, nobody buys. You do it the other way around. You pre-sell, right? That's how you pre-sold a whole, like a group of people first, then you go deliver the course. And I guarantee you, let me ask you this. If you've never done a course, now you've sold a number of people, they pay you to deliver the course. How many of you will be more motivated to finish the course? Yeah, because now you got to finish the course. People have already paid. You got to deliver it. That's how you should do it, not the other way around. Because if you find out, hey, I try to sell this, my offer is not landing, good. Isn't it good that you haven't spent months creating that course? Now you can tweak the message to make sure that sells first, then you go create a course. But why do experts do that? Because they have a fear of failure. They actually don't know if the course is going to sell, so they prefer to kind of be in cave mode, bad cave mode. Let me put my head down and just create a course and just working on a thing versus, hey, let me work on a thing that sells the thing. Don't want to work on that. Exactly like people want to lose weight, right? People want to lose weight, they'd like to, or they struggle to lose weight. They like, oh, let me get the whatever diet. Let me join a gym. Let me get whatever freaking 10-second app thing I saw on infomercials. A house full of crap, right? Still don't lose weight. They prefer to do all of that than facing the truth. But if you start with the truth and say, hey, I need to eat more healthily, and how about some fucking sit-up? You don't need no fancy equipment. Sit up. Sit on the floor, do it. But do it. Oh, but I need the perfect Lululemon yoga pants, and I need the Lululemon fucking mat. I need the freaking whatever towel because I'm gonna sweat. Shut the fuck up and just sit down and do it. You don't need shit. Do it. It will work. But we make it so complicated. So if you have, I'm gonna give you a quick tip on team. How many have people working with you right now? You've got some sort of team. If you have team members right now that are making things more complicated than it needs to be, what it means is their job has outgrew their capabilities. If you have team members right now working with you, that you give them a simple task, they make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's a one-step thing, they make it a five-step thing. They're not simplifying, they're making it more complicated. That means the job outgrew their capabilities. Either you got to replace them or you got to train them. Most cases, replace. Are you with me? That's a pattern. Same thing with us. You're making simple things more complicated than it needs to be. That means whatever you're trying to do, your capabilities, there's a skill gap. There's a capability gap. Right? Ricky, good question. Why replace and not train? Because most of the time, when you want to train them, and you're telling them, hey, let's say you got a person that's in middle management. Been with you 3-4 years, your company grew, and now this middle management person, it's making things more complicated. It needs to be, makes it more complicated for the team, all of that. And you're like, oh, okay, you're actually not management material, so a number of things you could do. You could demote them, which like, hey, you're actually not a manager. You're going to go back to whatever position that you were in before. Most people they cannot accept that. It's an ego blow. Very tough pill to swallow for most people because they got promoted already. And usually doesn't work. Then resentment kicks in. Then they become a little bit more toxic, right? And they would start doing things like communicating with other team members. It would affect your other team members. Don't ask me how I know that. Right? Yeah. That's management. Make sense? Yeah. Like it's 9 out of 10 wouldn't work. 9 out of 10 you got to replace. You can have the conversation and they would say, yeah, okay, I see that, a skill gap, because most people don't want to learn. Like, small percentage will, and they would be able to step up after a period of time, but also it's because you give them the opportunity, but knowing even if you give them the opportunity, they probably won't make it, right? And especially if your company is hyper growth, because the team that got you to 7 figures is not the same team that will got you to 8 figure. It's just not. Like rarely that happens, right? Because you need a different caliber of people. You need people with different skills. So good, they start with you, they got you to a certain level, you build together, great, but they just don't have the same experience running a bigger thing, right? And if they don't have the experience, what it means is, Ricky, they're learning on your dime. They're making mistakes, learning how to be the good team at that level, but this is burning your money, right? Then I prefer I bring someone in that have already burned other people's money. I prefer someone who's already learned this stuff and they've made a lot of mistakes from other companies going to here. Then I say, okay, let me hire you because you know how that works already, right? Yeah. That's how I would do it. Good. So far so good? Yes? Okay. Why don't we do a quick 5-minute break? Okay, refresh, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, and then we'll resume. 5 minutes. I'll see you there.